Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm Kiky Soraya from English Education Study Program of Postgraduate Studies, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, Bandung, Indonesia, will deliver a presentation entitled The Comparisons of Big Three Online Learning Platforms in EFL Classroom Student Perception. This paper is written with my promoter and also my co-promoter. Those are Mr. Didi Suherdi and also Mr. Pupung Purnawarman. And today I will just deliver the content of the paper. Before we continue the discussion, let me read the content of this presentation. The first one is introduction, the second one is materials and method, the third one is results and discussion, the fourth is conclusion, the next is references. After it, we will have acknowledgement and thanking. Okay, let's just start with the introduction part. In this part, let me share about the introduction, especially the background of the study. Since the appearance of the distance education, the enrollment of remote learning is getting higher. The enrollment report from Digital Learning Compass 2017 shows the significant increasing number of online learning enrollment within some past years, 2012 until 2015. Knowing that online learning enrollment is developed time to time, it is now added by the coming of COVID-19 that we called as pandemic situation. During a year of the pandemic issue, remote learning became the only choice, not only for the existing distance education, but also for the regular education program. Of course, it is to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Therefore, nowadays, remote learning is massively used in the global or globally. Then, what about the technology support that we have? Of course, to run the online learning program, online learning platforms are massively used. Just mention the three viral platforms that we have. Those are Zoom, Google Classroom, and also Teams. Those three viral platforms will be discussed in this study because many of the people needs to know about the comparisons of those big three online learning platforms in one of the contexts, that is EFL Classroom. In this study, the researchers will try to get the students' perception toward those three learning platforms. So, the next point is about the materials and methods. This study instigated a qualitative research through a case study design. For the instrument, this study exploits questionnaire and interview. Specifically, this study emphasizes on the analysis of interactivity, flexibility, and accessibility of the previous three platforms. The participants of the study were both online and regular students that are experiencing the distance learning through the three big platforms at the university in Jakarta, Indonesia. Although all of them study in Jakarta, but the students are massively addressed or they are living in many places in Indonesia and also abroad. As the characteristics of qualitative study, the EFL students were chosen randomly. Then, to analyze the data, an interactive data analysis was executed in the study. The data analysis was concerning on data collection, data reduction, data presentation, and data verification from Miles and Haberman. The result and discussion. In this part, I will show you the first table that is comparing Zoom, Google Classroom, and Teams, especially from the features. As you know, we have three categories here: Zoom, Google Meet, and also Microsoft Teams. There are some features that will be discussed in this result. The LMS or learning management system is the most important thing to be used in the online learning. Then, is Zoom considered as an LMS? In this table, the result saying no. Google Meet is an LMS. Microsoft Teams is an LMS too. And then if we talk about the other features like screen sharing, do Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams having the screen sharing? Yes, they have the screen sharing. What about the whiteboard? The whiteboard features for Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams are also existed. And then, what about the meeting recording? Yes, it is also important, right, to have meeting recording during your conference, of course, or your class. So in these three platforms, only two that is having meeting recording. Those are Zoom and Microsoft Teams. So Google Meet do not have it. How about free versions? Free versions available only for Zoom and Google Meet, but not in Microsoft Teams. And then what about mobile chat? Zoom and Google Meet do not have any mobile chat. Once again, Zoom and Google Meet do not have mobile chat. However, Microsoft Teams have it. And then what about the video conference? Of course, those three having the features of video conference. However, there are some limitation from Zoom and also Google Meet. What is the limitation? Zoom and Google Meet limit the time to do the conference or class. If you do not want to pay, you need to consider this thing. So, from this discussion, totally Zoom winning 4 features, 4 best features of Zoom. And then, yeah, one having like a one limitation with 2, we can say weaknesses, yeah, of Zoom. That is, do not have mobile chat, and also it is not an LMS. The next, Google Meet, having like, it is not 2 yes, but it is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yes. 5 yes with one limitation. It means that 4 yes for strength, and also one limitation and one weakness. And Microsoft Teams, I think this is the winner from this table because Microsoft Teams has 5 yes and 1 weakness. It means from the discussions of those three platforms, Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams winning the features. The second place is Zoom, and after it, the Google Meet or from Google Classroom. Okay, let's just move to the next comparisons and also data analysis. Okay, the second result of the discussions, Table 2, Zoom, Google Classroom, and also team comparisons. In terms of interactivity, flexibility, and accessibility represent in this table. Zoom having like fair interactivity, good flexibility, and very good accessibility. Almost the same with Google Classroom. The interactivity is good, the flexibility of Google Classroom is fair, and the accessibility is good too. What about Teams? Based on the students' reactions and also perception, Teams having like very good result, and then flexibility is also very good, accessibility is fair. It means from this result and discussion, all of the aspects from Zoom, Google Classroom, and Teams having such a different strengths and weaknesses. However, once again, Teams is winning the comparisons from those three or from those two other rival. Okay, so from the results and discussion, In conclusion, among those three platforms, Team is the winner based on the student's perception. In the EFL teaching and learning process, especially at the university level, Microsoft Teams is winning the comparisons in terms of the comprehensive features, fast interactivity and flexibility, although it is not open for public access. However, in this context, although the platforms is the winner among others, in the other context of learning, it might be possible that Zoom and Google Classroom is really good and best or suitable to be used in the other context of learning. So it is a really needs or important for the teachers or educators to know the context and characteristics of the class so they can choose which platforms that is best or suitable for their classroom based on the needs, context, and their characteristics once again. I think that's all about the results of the study, and see you again in the next other conference. This is the references that I used in the paper with the lectures. And then before ending this presentation, I would like to say thank you to all EFL students from PPTI BCA, BINUS University, and BINUS Online Learning Jakarta, Indonesia, who volunteered and participated and provided valuable information during the data collection. I think that's all for this presentation. See you again in the next international conference. Thank you for ICComSET committee for having me and also all of the friends in presenting the ideas here.